and welcome to Dave and Ryan and Jack review. Um, this week we're going to be looking at an old favourite of ours, in the same sort of vein as Scary Movie, White Chicks. But before we get to that, how's it going, guys? How's it going, Dave?
How did you know? I love this film.
As starting as we mean to go on, and Jackus, how you doing?
Yeah, yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good.
Nice to be invited
Yeah,
onto
this
this again.
there are certain films definitely, and to be fair, if you wanted to jump on all of them, it's up to you. But there are definitely certain films that require um, all three of us to really talk about. I want to say you probably showed me this film, right, Jack? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I
Um,
think so.
yeah, I would have guessed it was probably you. Um, but yeah, like when just thinking about this film, when I think about the film, it's just so the two brothers, the Wayans brothers. I mean, they've made a lot of films I don't like, right? There's a lot of films, but this is not one of them. This is absolutely hilarious. So many quotable moments, things that we spoke about for years after this. Um, just thinking about it, what do you think? What do you think about when you think about this film, Dave?
So I remember this film for me. I remember watching it in the cinema, um, and I had no idea what it was about going in. Believe it or not, the days where trailers weren't really a thing as much. And the moment when they are revealed as the white chicks and it pans up, I remember losing it in the cinema, like laughing a good 10, 15 minutes. Like I was gurgling with laughter. It really tickled me that moment, and I probably missed quite a lot of the film. Um, yeah, it's so funny, so silly. But yeah, just love it.
I want
Love
to,
Terry Crews.
yeah, I want to say I remember seeing the thing and going, oh my goodness, I'm not watching this. And like seeing the poster or something and going, nah, nah, nah. And then sure, just pretty sure, on a evening around Jack's going, oh no, watch it, it's good. And it is absolutely hilarious. What do you think about this film,
Th-
Jack?
This came out after Scary Movie, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why we watched it because of how much we loved Scary Movie
Yeah.
and the guys in that.
Mm,
We probably saw this film and was like, yeah, we got to give that a try.
mm.
And yeah, I mean, it didn't disappoint for me. I do, I do find it, even just the stupidness, the silliness. Do you know what I mean? It's my kind of humor, and
It's
yeah,
so
as you say, you got kind of like those iconic characters like Latrell, and that guy's just hilarious.
This was definitely my first introduction to Terry Crews. I don't think
Yeah,
I'd ever really seen him on anything or seen in anything before this. And that first bit where you see him in that speedo, and he's absolutely massive. He's one of the biggest humans I've ever seen at that point. And it's like easy white chocolate. And it's like, oh my god, and it's terrifying. It's actually terrifying. And I'm just looking at some of the picture. I'm looking at the trailer going on, and the actual masks and stuff, they're pretty good. Like
Oh yeah,
like
I mean, they
this
do a good
they
they
do a
do a
good
good
job.
job of coloring them in and making
I
Definitely.
them
I,
pretty
I
white.
earlier I was at my grandma's and I told her about what we were going to do about this film. She'd obviously never heard of it, and I just showed her the scene that I was just talking. How did you know? I love this song, and I was trying to explain. Oh, this is a black man dressed up as a white, and she just like looked at me like, "Oh, I'm joking." I was like, "No, no, no. This is that's actually a black man pretending to be a white woman." And yeah, it's they're really they actually look like Britney and Tiffany Wilson as well, don't they? Like
Yeah, I think they did a good job. They did a good enough job where you can suspend some disbelief, right? That they're like, oh yeah, like obviously they're
yeah,
like probably like a foot taller than than those girls, but other than that, I think they did a
but
pretty good job. Like I think they did a
but
pretty
they say you've got taller, and they're like, yeah, we had our knees done, and they're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh yeah. So they
yeah.
they they,
They
they address
addressing
it.
it, yeah, yeah, true. But no, very, very. I mean, God, there's so many bits. Like I just keep going back to Latrell in my head, like
That's the thing, isn't it? And
every time.
that car scene with the song became very iconic. Do you know what I mean? Like so
Yeah,
many people
reference
sort
it
of
Mm.
know
even now,
about that,
don't
and
they?
every time that song comes on,
Mm.
everyone sort of does that.
And I need you. Yeah, I mean, just to get because obviously just talking about that scene, the point of it is that she's trying to get this guy to just leave me alone. Like he's trying to get this guy to leave him alone. Like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll put on a really girly song. And obviously he's supposed to be like an NFL player. Is that? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
or basketball, one of the two, isn't
Something.
it?
Yeah. Like he's a sports. He's a sportsman, and he's trying to get this guy away from him, and he just can't. And he puts his song on. We're thinking, oh no, like he's gonna go, oh disgust, oh this bloody song, and he's just like, how did you know I love this song? And he starts singing, and it's so funny, and his little mannerisms are, and now I wonder, he's pointing to his eyes, and it's so funny. His little smile is just brilliant. He stole, I feel like he stole the whole film. Terry Crews in this particular film, he was so
He
funny.
made himself a very main character, didn't he?
Yes, because he's probably not even in it that much. Like if you watched it again, but it's just so memorable. Like
Yeah.
what other bit? Like when he's eating all the wings and stuff, and it's just
The
Girl, we're gonna
oysters.
get along just fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's just so many, and then when he's dancing, he does like the robot and stuff, and you're like, wow, look,
Yeah,
look at his dancing is amazing. Um, so many good.
$50,000
Yeah,
cash
because isn't that's the they're doing the like
or the
auction.
auction. Yeah.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Just so funny. I can't even remember what the actual they're going undercover for what again? Why are they going undercover? Do you remember, Dave?
They're
It's to
going
do
to the
with
Hamptons because I think the dad they're doing something, isn't he?
Oh, what
And
the
so they're
girls'
trying to get
dad?
under. Yeah, the girls they're competing against dad
the
Oh,
system,
is
isn't it? Yeah. And then
yeah he's like
he's like
been
laundering money or something through
that's
the
yeah
company.
so it really doesn't it doesn't really matter.
yeah,
You
of
don't really
course.
care if they pull it off,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
But still
yeah,
funny
go back.
to even think there is actually there's like a point to it.
Yeah,
But don't you remember the whole film starts in that court in that little shop where they're trying to get the drugs, and they begin pretending to be the Mexican guys, and they say about the ice
Oh
cream,
my goodness.
vanilla, strawberry, Neapolitan, for
yeah. I
example.
was going to say I love that. I love that opening
Do you know what
scene.
I mean? Just the opening scene,
Because doesn't he start
and
doing
he
like a
comes in,
whole? He starts.
yeah.
La la
He's,
la 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 bamba.
This is my chico, hermano.
that's so funny. Again, like just such a, and again, it's all very much in their humor. Like
Mm.
very silly, very like slapstick, some toilet humor. Just just some really funny stuff going on
Yeah.
with this very silly type comedy.
And it turns out that it's not even the right people because then after they've beaten them up, the other guys, hey, your ice cream's here. And it's like, oh, wrong shop.
So funny. I
One
just
of the
go on.
funny. I rewatched this a couple of days ago just to refresh my memory, and
Yeah, go on.
the couple of the side characters are really funny. Is the other two cops that they're competing
Yeah,
against?
The guy from and
Um,
one of them's the guy from Scary Movie, right?
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember their names in the film, but them two are really funny, and it's like oh, hug and dance, you know, and
Oh, you're
when
disgusting.
but having those competing cops make it brilliant later on for when they're actually the white chicks, and then he turns up and he's like, take my bag, Jose. There's like obviously loads of racist stuff going on in this film.
It's mad.
Um,
It's actually insane. If I'm
like yeah,
they wouldn't.
it's funny because people have I don't know if you've seen in the news recently, people not the news, but the people have saying about Ben Stiller's Tropic Thunder
Yeah.
film,
Mm.
and I just thought, well, this is surely worse, right?
It's as, but I just yeah. You just I think you could probably make the film now. You would just have to really just take the heat.
But
You'd
they,
have
Yeah.
I don't think they could even make the film. This is the problem.
Mm.
The people
yeah.
they've forgotten just to have a laugh. just
That's the thing.
it's
It's not.
okay.
It's
It's
just
okay to laugh. This was the same thing we talked about with Scary Movie and stuff.
yeah,
It's like it's okay to laugh. Do you know what I
absolutely.
mean? Like you just take it in your stride. It's just you know.
It is,
And
and
look,
absolutely
for
because I
people,
think. Go
I
on.
was thinking for people that don't know us, the three of us are a complete different mix of races here, and we all love it on that same level, don't we?
Yeah, it is really funny. There's just like you said, it's all in good fun. Like they're not being mean about it. It's hilarious though. Like when they're very that's a big girl. Like he like Latrell again, just it's like this big woman. He's like, oh yeah, and obviously we know it's like a 6'1", like big black guy, but he's just like it's a big woman. Oh yeah, like it's making fun of that the premise,
You
and
know,
it's
when
just having a
when
laugh. Yeah.
when the girl
It
comes in,
is.
when the white girl comes in with the wheelchair.
Oh my goodness.
Do you know what I
Hey
mean?
Latrell.
You know what they're pointing at here.
Again, one of the absolute classic lines, like once you go black, you're gonna need a wheelchair. I mean, it's just
How you,
outrageous, an outrageous line, but it's just so funny. And then after he says that line, he's talking to her, and then that girl wheels in, like, "Hey, Latrell," and he sort of just like shoos
It's
her
like,
away,
get her
doesn't he?
away
Like,
from me.
like just get her out of here. And it's absolutely hilarious. Like, it's so funny. So many of those moments, and like you said, it's a shame that something like this, obviously super silly, it's not trying to be serious, it's just having a laugh, and it's a shame that this kind of thing definitely wouldn't get made now.
Yeah.
even at the end when he reveals, look, Latrell, I'm a guy. It's like, are you telling me that you're not white?
Oh, the
Oh, the
deceit.
deception! Oh, the
Yeah,
deception!
yeah.
It's so funny, but yeah, you gotta see it how it was made,
Yeah, that's the thing. For me, this is probably the last Wayans film that I liked and probably saw, to be honest, because there was some pretty horrific stuff after this. Did they make any other good films after this?
What was that? What was that one? That,
Don't
uh,
be a menace.
drink. Don't be a menace to South Central whilst drinking juice in the
I love
hood.
I love
Or
Wasn't
that
that
whatever.
one.
was but wasn't that older than this?
Yeah, I think that
I
must
think so. I think
that came before like Scary Movie
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff. I
yeah.
think.
This is like this. Yeah, this is way after that. So I just feel like they did obviously they made films, but it was just all like it got really silly. Like there was the one with the baby and stuff, and like it just got very silly,
Oh yeah.
like really silly after this one. Um, but you just think how many of the Wayans are funny. There's so many of them. There's so
Well, you
mm,
had that. You had that. You had one of them had his own sitcom, didn't he?
yeah, My Wife
Is
and
it like
Kids, and
my? That's it. My wife and kids. Yeah.
and then there was and then his son, that guy's son, was in New Girl, and he's there's so many of them. But yeah, these two were my favorite at the time. Very very funny film. Um, I'm just trying to think, Dave. Anything else in the film that you remember? Because obviously you watched it. Anything else?
um, I think like the catwalk at the end is pretty funny when there's four of them there,
Mm.
and like they're coming out and they're like realizing, and you got obviously the Latrell trying to drug one of them, and then he ends up taking the drug and doing the dance on the dance floor, which
The
he used
dance off
to.
is pretty good that the girls do.
Mm.
Oh yeah, the dance off. Even I even quite like the girls who are like their friends, that they're like going shopping with, and like
Yeah.
they're quite funny. Like when they go to try the clothes on, she's like, "I'm a big fat pig," and it's like there's nothing of this girl. And then they're trying to get Marlon Wayans into like a size 10 dress or something, and just the screaming and the.
It's
I
like
can
tearing.
taste,
It's like tearing at the seams, isn't it? And it's like
I can taste the leather. Like
The bit
yeah,
where he's like, is it the bit where he's like lactose intolerant or something, and he has
yeah, just toilet humor and just farting, and it's just silly. It's just very silly.
But
Very silly.
we love silly.
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you got an Oscar for best supporting actor in a comedy, Terry Crews definitely would win it.
Yeah, he was incredible at this. He was absolutely. He was very memorable. Probably the most memorable bit about the whole film, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
I
yeah,
would say whenever you see him in other films, I think a lot of people refer to him as like, they're like, oh, there's Latrell.
yeah. It's
You know what I
just
mean? Like
you can't
it's
not
just one of
think
those
of him
names that
as
sort of
Latrell.
pops up when, yeah.
Yeah, he is just Latrell. Um, absolutely. But yeah, no, fun film overall. I'm not even gonna say like, oh, absolute classic, just one of the best films ever, but it is really funny. It's a very funny film.
Runner made a point when I was coming downstairs. She was like, "Make sure they know this is one of my favorite films."
Yeah, it's a very
And
funny
like
film.
like I know Kara loves
Yeah,
this film as well.
it's a very funny film. I do need to watch it because I have not seen it for a long, long time. But it is very, very funny, and it always makes me laugh. And that
I,
just yeah,
I,
there just aren't many comedy like new comedy films that are really funny. It's not
mm,
many really. Like we went through a little
what
period there was loads of them.
one of the funny scenes is when, and because we know as the audience that they're not really white chicks, but when they're going up against the other sisters who obviously in previous years have just bullied the hell out of the other girls, and they're like going, "Oh, you want to talk about mothers?" And they're not going to intimidate them at all, and they just destroy them at like
Yeah.
dancing, and your breast milk is powder, and all of that stuff is just so funny. Seeing these silly girls like not get in their way, even like, oh, like, we're going to try and win the auction, and then like Latrell, 500,000 cash, all of that stuff. There's some great, really good scenes. But yeah, is it a great all-time movie? No.
I,
Is it just?
I I know some people that would probably say that they don't like it, but
Yeah,
I think I could understand why someone would watch and go like what like and not, but I find it very funny, very
I
funny.
think if you enjoyed it at the time, it's a memorable film.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
it's one of those films that just kind of sticks with you. And whenever you see it on, you're like, oh, white chicks.
It's just like a really
well, like
it's like a really silly version of like Bad Boys or something. Like just
Yeah.
it's like
a super
like
silly version of that.
there's there's a bit early on where before they're even the white chicks, one of them is talking to the chief who's not happy, and his wife's calling him on the phone, and he's like, "Sorry, I'm with the chief. I'll call you later." And then the chief's phone rings, and and he's like, "It's for you." And it's his wife. He's like, "Yeah, I'm still talking to the chief." Yeah, he's really not happy now, And he's like, "If you don't find that funny, you're probably not going to find the other bits funny."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, she's trying to
Whereas,
catch him out the whole time, isn't she?
yeah.
yeah,
Thinking
and
that
she's
he's
like,
cheating.
"Yeah, it's like I was 2 minutes. Do you think it takes that long to cheat on you?"
Mm, mm. So funny.
Mm.
All right, well I think that's all I've got to say about it. Anything else? Want to leave on anything else, Dave?
It's time to go shopping. I don't know. I do. Yeah, I don't know.
Just this. You know what this is? Obviously, I think it's always
You
it's
either
always
enjoy it or you don't.
absolutely. But this has made me think about another film we probably all of us could do together. Is maybe the Austin Powers films,
Ooh.
because again, I feel like we all enjoy those films, and I was watching a few bits of those, and yeah, they were pretty funny. So just on the comedy theme, I thought that could be another one.
Mm.
I would definitely have to give them a little rewatch. I haven't watched them in a long
I
while.
think
Yeah,
I think Goldmember's my only one I would know really well. Sadly,
definitely. So I
I
think
love.
that'll
If it was,
probably
if it was,
go on.
no, no, I was just saying, if it was Goldmember, yeah, of course. But if it was the others, I'd be like, oh, I'd have to, yeah, give me a bit of time.
Okay, maybe we aim for maybe in a couple of weeks or 2 or 3 weeks, so you can just watch clips and whatnot, give us some time to refresh, because I think that'd be a good one. But yeah, if you enjoy, I think if you enjoy a scary movie, you probably enjoy White Chicks. Um,
Mm.
so
Yeah,
I think you
absolutely.
give it a watch. I think if you enjoyed that. But yeah, that was fun. It's always good to especially comedies. Like it's always good fun, and
It's good to reminisce.
yeah, about especially this film. I had literally I don't think I've seen this film in like over 10 years, probably longer. So no, it's
I,
good to think about it again.
I got a scene I just thought of, Ryan, that you used to like.
What was
It's
it?
like, did anyone ever tell you look just like Denzel Washington? What a beautiful chocolate man!
Yes, it's so funny. That's such a good bit. I wonder what they're doing now. Like, yeah, genuinely, like I haven't seen them in a film for ages.
I saw one of them in like a time travel, like a film. You know, like with the day, like a Groundhog Day type of film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. It was, and it was
They,
filmed in the same set as like the Back to the Future set. So I was like, oh, I know that. That's where Marty flipping
Oh, wow.
went back.
they peaked in their early 2000s.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Well, me and Jack love Scary Movie too. Ryan doesn't love it.
No, I don't hate it. I just
No,
don't
I said
like it.
you don't love it though.
Yes, that's probably, yeah. I don't love it. I definitely, yeah. I don't love it. I don't love it as much as the first one. Definitely. It is funny. It definitely makes me laugh. But I think there's it's getting to the too silly. Like it's just too silly parody stuff, and then like after that, it goes off a cliff for me. Like it's just too much. Like, like I can't handle how silly it gets after that one. Like the 3 and 4 is just ridiculous.
A comedy cliff.
Like yeah, it's just
What
too silly.
what bit is too much though?
What in 3?
Well, what bit is the cliff bit for you?
Like Michael Jackson under that under that like under that blanket.
Come on, bit man. I love that bit.
It's crazy. I'm like, what am I watching? Like, the hell is this? And then it's like the signs thing, and the kid keeps getting hit in the face, or whatever it is, and it's just
What
silly. It's just too silly. It's
the
too,
Yahtzee?
yeah, it's just way too silly. Like it
Fair
gets,
enough.
because the other one was parody, but it was. I think Scary Movie was still like shot like a film. Like the other ones were clearly just like
Mashup.
schlocky mashup things. Whereas the other one at least had a kind of a story, and it tried to do it. Whereas this one, the 3 and onwards were like disaster movie and and all that kind of stuff. Where it was just this is garbage. This is just pure garbage, pure unadulterated garbage. But yeah,
I might go and watch it now.
what number 3?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I remember you guys were like, Ryan, you got to see this, and it was like Michael Jackson under that little cover, and I was like, that's what? I was
Well, come
like,
on, man. The guy pretending to be like Eminem is well good.
oh my
Right.
goodness.
You all hate me because I'm black.
If I Ryan, if I said da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, would you know what I meant?
No, not a clue.
Yeah. We'll leave it. We'll speak after
Yeah.
this review. And
Okay. So we've probably got a couple there that we can do. Maybe we could do. Oh, I'd have to watch Scary Movie 3.
we've got to do a review for 2 first. I think.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, we've got a few on the docket there. And so keep an eye out for that. If you enjoyed this, look out for that. And yeah, we'll be back next week. And as always, thanks for listening, and we'll speak to you soon.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
See you later.